So after seeing American Fiction, I went and saw The Beekeeper. One of the movies that came out this weekend that I was really looking forward to. The only movie really that I was looking forward to because it's Jason fucking Statham, one of my favorite action stars out there, and it's directed by David Ayer, the guy who made Fury, End of Watch, which is a goddamn both really great movies if you've never seen them. He made the first Suicide Squad, the bad one. From what I've read, it's not really much of his fault. That movie was bad. It was a lot of studio interference. If he would have made something like what James Gunn did, I think it would have been a good movie. I was looking forward to it. It was kind of funny. I was reading a list of movies that look like they're going to be really bad or coming up. And this was on it, and I was like, it don't really look that bad. It looks like a typical Jason Statham movie. I'm like, their point was, well, Expendables 4 sucked. I'm like, yeah, Expendables 4 sucked. It was one of the worst movies of the year. But Statham was the best part of that fucking movie. Let's be honest. He carried that fucking thing. It wasn't Statham's fault that movie sucked. That movie was awful. I didn't get to review it, but there you go. And like he also did Meg 2, which is really bad. That was fucking atrocious. But again, he was the best part of the movie. And this movie looked like it was my cup of tea, and yeah, it was exactly my cup of tea. And this movie's really fucking stupid, but I had so much fun watching it, and I do recommend it, especially if you're like a Statham fan, like I am. Statham is great. This is not his best performance. One of his best performances. Not easily. Like a few years ago, he did that movie Wrath of Man. If you haven't seen Wrath of Man, a lot of people did see Wrath of Man because that came out when the pandemic was still going on. And, like they're slowly opening movie theaters up, so like some movies would get trickle in and here and there. I saw that in a theater. I fucking I was barely going to the theaters at the time because I was working so much, and I went and saw that. I was so happy I did because that movie fucking ruled. And that was like one of his best performances. This is not one of his best performances. This is just batshit. It's almost a cartoon, really. Honestly, this movie's like more a cartoon, and his character than anything. It's ridiculous, and this character, he's a one-man killing machine who just, like, brutally murders people, like, in some really ridiculous-ass ways. And, like, even John Wick would go, calm the fuck down, movie. Like, goddamn. There's, like, a scene with an elevator. I remember that scene with the elevator. I was like, what the fuck? There's some really. I mean, he's of course a part of a. Only Statham could pull off a movie that has him being a part of a secret organization called the Beekeepers, and he makes it badass. Because it's Statham, he makes it badass and convincingly like. You can believe that this guy's gonna fuck people up, even though he's called a beekeeper. As ridiculous as it sounds, it's like a secret organization that keeps order in the world. Of like, what the fuck ever, like, and it has a lot of good actors in it too. Minnie Driver pops up briefly in this. What the hell? Like, I saw her name in the credits. I'm like, Minnie Driver, and then she pops up. I'm like, she's a CIA head of the CIA. And she's in it with like maybe 2 scenes, barely like a minute long. And I'm like, huh. What was the point of her being in this? There's that one Russian dude that like a hitman that comes out of fucking nowhere. I'm like, what was that guy? Where the hell did he come from? He had like some kind of backstory that he fought a beekeeper. I was like, that was weird. Jeremy Irons, of course, plays he's kind of the villain, but not really. Josh Hutcherson's more the villain. He's more a smarmy, douchey bro character that I think he was born to play this kind of role. I like Josh Hutcherson, don't get me wrong, but he's pretty good. And like he was pretty good at playing the douche character. He basically runs his organization. I mean, this movie easily sold me because this is a movie where Jason Statham is going after the worst kind of fucking people in the world, and that is the people that scam old people. Like the movie, if you don't know what it's about, Jason Statham is like a retired beekeeper, which was his organization that, like, secret organization in the government, and he's literally a beekeeper at this old lady's house, and like gives her like he makes honey and I don't know, but he gives his he's a really friendly person. Like this woman actually gives a shit about him and he cares about her, but unfortunately she gets a message on her computer that she has a virus, and it's one of those scams that I think we've all dealt with, where if you call a number, they try to tell you, "Oh well, you can we can fix your computer or whatever." But it's one instead of one of those scams where they're like, "Oh, give us your credit card information" or something like that, or they basically somehow they install a thing into your computer, hack into all your bank accounts, and wipe out all your money. They wiped out all this woman's poor money. She kills herself, and that's the catalyst for the movie. That like easily like along with like Saw 10, like these are easily characters that I want to see get killed fucking easily. Like not since like or so bad. I don't want to see a pair of villains get killed so bad in my entire life, because these are representing the scummiest people on earth, including like not since like Saw 10 have I seen characters that I hated this much. But yeah, this movie also, when I talk about this movie is absurd, this movie has one of the most insanely ridiculous ending third acts I've ever fucking seen in a movie. In a way, best way I can describe it without getting spoiled, because like, okay, there's a twist in the movie of who Josh Hutcherson's working, or who he's related to, basically, and why he's been able to do all the shit he's been able to do. He's basically the head of this conglomerate organization that, scams people, old elderly people out of their money. And you find out, like, towards the end out of nowhere, who his parents are, and it's one of those, like, the trailer kind of did spoil it, but at the same time, I went, what? I'm like, well, how are they going to, like, then you find out, like, kind of, like, what Statham's goal now is to do, and you're like, hold on, what the hell? And it results in, like, one of the most absurd final acts I've seen in a long time. There's no way that... Okay, without spoiling it, okay. You remember that... What this final act reminded me of? You ever played, for video game nerds, you remember playing Hitman Blood Money in that last level at the end of Hitman Blood Money where he had to go invade the White House to kill the vice president, and somehow it was so fucking easy to infiltrate the White House and kill the vice president? That's what the third act of this movie is, basically. A live-action version of that. Kind of. It's really fucking insanely stupid. And, like, there's no way he should have been able to get in there. Like, he walks right into this fucking party at the end of the movie. Like, most people know what he looks like. Most of the characters in this movie know he just walks right through this party without the disguise whatsoever. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, okay, now this movie's getting ridiculous. And it gets crazier from there. And I'm like, of course the writing isn't like the greatest either, but like I still love the hell out of this movie. I enjoyed it. It was absurd. It was dumb. It was exactly what I expected. Statham was a badass in it. That's all I needed. And I enjoyed it. Like I was never bored. Yeah, there's some bad CGI here and there, but it's not as bad like Expendables 4. Hell no, not even close. Like Expendables 4 was like embarrassingly bad as far as the CGI goes. I give this like a I'd say B minus is fair. I'd say B minus. Fuck, I'll give it a B. Because it's like, you know what? It's an enjoyable fucking movie. It's not, it's a harmless, it's exactly what I expected, and that's all I needed. So, whatever. Yeah, if you're a Statham fan, you'll love it. So, I recommend it. That's as far as reviews go. I still got a review. I'm going to try tomorrow to go see Mean Girls remake. Probably won't get to see Book of Clarence until probably later this week. Until then, I will talk to you guys later.